Okay, so now we're going to be creating our navigation. So we're going to get rid of this hello component. We really don't need it anymore. And on top of that, I'm going to start putting some comments to make this a little bit clearer. So what I'm going to do down here is we're going to say put here our render to DOM. Okay, that's basically what's going on there. And then here is our app component. Okay, this just makes it easier to kind of look through. Since we're going to do it all in one file, this is just going to make it easier to kind of dig through this whole file later on. Okay, and then we're going to make this our navigation component. So we're going to call this navigation. Well, not all caps. Class navigation extends React component. Do I need state for this? Nah, I don't think I'm really going to be using state. We actually let's leave that there for now. And what we're going to do, since we're going to be rendering something a little bit bigger, what we need to do now is we're going to wrap this in parentheses, which looks a little weird because you probably would think that it would be curly brackets, but it's not. So the return gets wrapped in curly brackets. Okay, and then you can do your JSX here. So what we're going to be doing is a navigation, which generally is going to be sort of a unordered list. So our parent tag will be a UL. Okay, and I'm going to give it the class name navigation. Probably a good habit would be to try to only use the class name on the parent HTML tag, and then use sort of like refer to its child components via the CSS. And I'll show you what I mean in a moment. So class name is going to be nav. We'll just say navi. Okay. And let's take advantage and also show kind of how you can do some really cool stuff with the elements too. So what we're going to do is, instead of defining all my individual links here, I'm going to create an object. So this.setState. What I'm going to do is create an array, or actually an object of links. So we're going to say, how do I want to do this? I will just say link array equals okay, and then each one will be another object. Oh, this should be an array. Actually, an array of objects would make more sense here. And the first object we'll say link text. We'll say is my GitHub, and link URL will be http://github.com/AlexMercedCode, or do follow me on GitHub. Okay, so there's our first object. Just do 3 of them. I can copy and paste the next ones. Oh. And get rid of the comma on the last one. And let's do portfolio. www.alexmercedcoder.com. And then last, but certainly not least, my LinkedIn. www.linkedin.com/in/Alex Merced. Cool. So that's going to be our navigation links. Now what I'm going to do, and I could technically, let's cut this. And actually make it part of our state. I just want to kind of set it up there to make it easier to see. So now we're going to do a comma here. So that way the name is still there if we wanted to use it for any reason. Control V. And I just need to change this to a colon. Cool. So now this array is part of my state. So I'm saying, hey, in my state, there's a thing called link array that is a array of these objects. Okay, cool. That's there. We can use it. Fun. Okay. Now what I want to do is, instead of just creating a bunch of LIs one by one, we can actually iterate them. And to do this, we're going to use the map array function. The reason being is that technically what we're going to do is the map isn't going to render to the DOM. It's going to create an array of elements that React then renders to the DOM, because that's what map does. It returns you a new array as such. So the way this would work is we're going to use a curly bracket that basically says, hey, we're going to do some JavaScript here. Even though we're in JSX world, we want to go back to JavaScript world for a moment. Okay, and from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take that array, that in the way that would be this dot state dot link array dot map. Okay, because I'm taking this dot state dot link array, that's the reference to the array, and then I'm going to call the map function on the array. Okay. Then we basically do a callback. So I want that parentheses right next to it. Just feels better. There we go. And what we're going to do is that every time the map goes through the item, so basically it's going to map several times. So it's first time it goes through, it's going to be referring to this item in our array, then this item in our array. So each time that item is going to be referred to as, we'll say, link. Okay, so we're going to say link, which is just the parameter. We're just saying that every time this iterates, the item that we're referring to now is referred to as link. Okay, and then we're going to do link slash return li. Okay, and then we're going to have li, then we're going to have an a tag in there. With an href equals parentheses, curly brackets to refer to the variable, which is going to be link dot link URL, because it's to refer to URL. I always get confused whether I do the quotation marks or do not do the quotation marks. We'll find out in a moment whether it works or where it doesn't work. Okay, so a href link, and then in the middle we want the text, so it would be curly brackets again, link dot link text. Cool. Okay, this dot state link array, that looks fine. Just monitoring for anything I might have forgotten. And again, we putting map that, that's all works for me, because again, you're just returning this one sort of line here. So that should be fine. I do need to put a closing bracket. Okay, and so essentially what this is going to do, it's going to iterate over that array and put all my LIs right there. Now right now we're not going to see it because I didn't actually put Navi in the components. So let's do that. So this is going to start getting kind of big. So what I'm going to do is, with the return function, we're going to wrap that in parentheses. Or I mean here in the return function for app. And the first thing I'm going to want to do is call on Navi. So our navigation will be right there at the top. But it's not called it's called navigation, my bad. So that's why it's always good to make sure that you keep track of your component names. Navigation. Save. So let's see where we're at. Okay, we got some errors, so let's find out. Unexpected token, line 26. UL class name Navi, this dot state. So right here, the return. Well, we could do this. Instead of doing the return, we could just do another set of parentheses around it. It's like an implicit return. So it's basically, it'll just assume that we meant return. React just works that way. So parentheses, and then put a parentheses around this. Let me just make sure that all adds up. And that's all within that parentheses. Yeah, that should work. Save. Let's see if it gives us any more errors. We'll address them one by one. Link is not defined. Okay. Oh, because I put in lowercase and I wrote uppercase here, so that's a quick fix. There we go. Probably would have been better if I lowercased it, but we'll go with that. And there it goes. It shows up. So there's our UL. Now we can style it. So we go to our index.css. Okay, and we're going to do our navigation. And again, the class we were using was Navi. So basically this Navi is going to be technically the UL. Okay, and I want that to now be a flex item. So display flex. I want everything to kind of be equally spaced out. So justify content, space between, or space around actually. I want to get rid of the bullets. So just list style none. Yeah. None, space around. That's good for the moment. And let's take a look at those changes. Okay, so we see the component is changing, taking shape. Now, also I'm going to want to change the background color, or background color to midnight blue, and we'll leave it at that. And we'll actually create padding of 10 pixels. Padding always makes things look better. Now we want to style those navigation, those links. So we'll do .navi. I always like to be as specific as possible. So within Navi there are LIs, and within those LIs there are A tags. So specifically want to style those A tags. So I want to make sure that the color of those are white. So that way it contrasts with the midnight blue. Font size, we're going to make them a little bit bigger. So we'll say 1.5 EMs. 1.4 is fine. EMs. And what I want is to do a transition on these. For the color of the font. And I want it to transition within 4 seconds. Oh, 0.4 seconds. 4 seconds would be way too long. Okay, on that, I want to make sure we style the hover. So that way there's a nice little effect when you hover over the link. So that's hover. And that we're just changing the color to something like, we'll just say green. Just to show the effect. Green. So let's save that and let's see how this looks. Okay, it's getting a lot better. If I put my finger over it, see it turns green. That's pretty neat. Okay, now if I want to add more links, I don't have to, you know, I can just add to this object. Another way I could do it is we could make it a props thing, okay? And which means what I could do is I could define the array, link array. So let's take the, well, actually, we'll just keep the array in there, but we'll make another copy of it up here. This will have global scope. Save. And then when that navigation gets called, what we can do is we can say, hey, name, or no, not name, because then this would become this dot props dot link array. So it's going to be looking for a props element called link array. So we'll make the property link array equals link array. I'm putting it in brackets because it's a JavaScript variable, so I need to kind of go in the JavaScript world to specify it. Okay, and everything else. Well, let me just first, before I save it, let me just, oh, okay, well, I had apparently already saved it. So let's save that there. And let's see if that works. Link array is not defined, line 14. Not line 14, so we have link array defined here at the top of the JavaScript file. And then link array is passed in. Oh, let me pause that. Oh, the joys of living in a busy corner in Brooklyn. Okay, so that theoretically you could do that. Just trying to think why not link array equals this, so that should show up. And let me just go back down here. This dot stay, that array is still defined, but here we're saying this dot props dot link array dot map. It's saying it's not receiving it. Did I need to pass props into render? I think I might. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the way I would have to do this is that I have to reconstruct my const component as a class component and then pass that array as part of my state in my app component. So that way I could then pass it in as props into navigation. And the reason why you would want to do that is maybe you want someone else to be able to use the component and then pass in their own array of link text and link URLs, so that way their navigation can just be dynamically rendered without having to touch the component itself. But I'm not going to really refactor this app component. Well, we could. Maybe let's try that out. So that would just make this class app extends react dot component, and then we'd get rid of this. Then we'll just copy over the state from the constructor from over here. It'll be the same constructor because we're passing through the same item as this particular thing's state. So then this would become this state dot link array. Well, okay, this dot state dot link array, which is defined here, that works for me as being passed as props. Let's see if that works. Still throwing us a little bit of an error. Unexpected token at line 57. Return. Oh, because this has to be in a render function now. So render. So it's render parentheses, and then I can wrap that up in curly brackets. Okay, that should fix that. Syntax error. Let's see here. Render return navigation link array unexpected token expected a comma. Why would it expect a comma? Let's see here. Something was left open, so that's there. Is my state open? Let's see here. State, yeah, closes there. So there's no reason that would need a comma. Constructor, that's all good. So render return. Oh, there's a missing parentheses, I think. Yeah. Because I have, oh, then that's for some reason right down there. That should not be down there. That should be within the return, so we'll put that right over here. And the appearance is bothering me for the moment. So we'll leave it like this for the moment. Okay, hit save. And let's take a look. Yep, and there we go. So in this situation, we're passing down the link arrays and props. So theoretically, if this was like in separate files, so this navigation component was separate, and you were giving it to somebody else to use, they would just have to use your navigation component and just pass an array like this for whatever URLs they have, and the navigation would just automatically render. This is where sort of React really starts to shine, because you can create these reusable components. Because the logic is there, but you can dynamically pass through as properties the information you need. So I can use this component over and over again in different projects and just pass in a different array, and it'll create a dynamic menu. So that's really cool. Just to kind of end this off, I do want to make one last change to my CSS, index.css. I do want to get rid of that underline. So actually I want to do that over here. Text decoration, none. Save. Cool. Let's make sure that that did what I wanted it to do. There we go. Okay, that's good enough for now. Okay, and then that's all from one component. Okay, so now whenever I need to edit my navigation, all I have to do is edit that one component. Now this becomes a lot easier when it's only in, like, when you break it down into separate files. Because then you just go back and edit the files you need with the right name. It kind of breaks everything down nicely. But you guys are starting to see sort of the value in this. Okay, so let me just make sure that this is all commented right. Cool. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.